All right. So we have Carlos who graciously agreed to share a little bit of his story here. It's kind of insane where he's at today, given when we met, when you first started Gut Rehab, where things were at with your skin to now. I'll let you share, but just starting off, could you tell us a little bit about you? Where do you live? What do you do? Well, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, of course. Uh, I live in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, Washington, where it rains about 180 to 200 days out of the year. So
Oh
it's
my
currently
God.
raining as we speak. Yeah. My general profession is I'm a chef. So I work long hours, manage teams, and I love to make food. So yeah, a little bit about myself.
And so the fact that you're a chef, first of all, like everybody watching this, men and women, on their mind, aside from what they're dealing with, is also probably food, like constantly. Just what can I eat? What can I not eat? Like all that stuff. And so the fact that you're a chef coming into this, I think speaks
Yeah.
volumes that you did this anyways. I want to jump to the end actually today. So we've worked together for like 3 months, 3-ish months.
Yeah. I think a little bit over 3 months. Yeah.
Could you just share what you feel, and we'll backtrack as to where you started, but what would you say has shifted for you um now that you're at the end? I mean, we can start by even talking about what you came for, or what we started this for. But I
Mm-hmm.
just want to give people just want people to be able to jump to the end and go okay, where is he at today? What do you feel has shifted for you?
I think the biggest shift was definitely in the mindset. Uh, just where I'm at now is a lot more calm, a lot more sense of control, more than anything else. Uh, you know, I originally joined for psoriasis, so for my skin condition, which is a chronic condition that most of the time people try so many different remedies and so many different things, and I was after one of those. It's just trying on all the other lotions, all the other products, everything, and I finally told myself I need to heal this from within, and that's when I reached out. But I'm definitely a lot more calm, definitely a lot more centered. I have a lot more discipline about what I put into my body, what I eat.
What about your skin
What
though? I think this is the biggest thing. Where's your skin?
my
How's your
skin.
skin doing?
Oh my god, yeah. So my skin now towards like the end of the gut rehab, I want to say it's about 90% clear, like going into remission. Yeah. And so patches that were just like super thick and scaly, and I just remember I would get so just frustrated with myself, with my body. I would hate it. I would hate, myself, feeling that like my body's betraying me, or did I do something for my body to betray me?
Mm,
But right now it's, smooth skin, pretty much generally all around. With psoriasis, once, patches and stuff starts to clear up, there's pigmentation, so a little bit discoloration of the skin. And so that's totally normal, but it's a sign of it going back into remission. And so, yeah, I'm excited more than anything, just being able to get that under control. I
let
think
me.
that the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think that the biggest blessing is just kind of realizing what triggers my psoriasis, and
Mm.
then, yeah.
If I can pause you really quick, just to recap for everybody.
Mhm.
Originally came for psoriasis. Most of us, I mean, it is technically a chronic condition. People who follow me, they know I have psoriasis. Mine's in remission. But when you first get diagnosed, you first see it, it's natural to feel like you have to deal with that for the rest of your life. And then if you're someone like yourself, you're very ambitious, you go after what you
Mhm.
want. And so you're going to try a bunch of things.
Right.
I think that can get us in I did the same, and a vicious cycle of trying so much and nothing's working. And you said something interesting. You were like, I felt like your body was, what do you say? It was against you or hated, or hated you or
It was
something like that.
betraying me. Yeah.
Betraying you. But here
Yeah.
you are now, it's your skin's almost in remission. You said one of the biggest pieces here for you was realizing what your triggers were. So
Hmm.
when you first started gut rehab, what did you expect
Hmm.
the process to be like versus how it really was? Because I remember you saying like, it was you had your ups and downs for sure, which
Yeah.
is normal. It's
Yeah.
normal, but all around, like you had a really like can-do attitude, like we're gonna figure this out. And
Yeah.
we didn't have you like celery juicing every morning, like nothing.
No. No.
What
No.
what did you expect like coming into gut rehab? Did it surprise you? What were you like? Just give us a little bit of insight into your mind.
No, definitely. So I wasn't entirely 100% sure what to expect coming to Gut Rehab. I think what I expected more than anything was kind of guidance and like a step by step of what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it, which is exactly what I got through the app. And it's, through just constantly asking. It was the first 2, 3 weeks where I just asked so many questions. Is this okay? Can I do this? Can I change that? X, Y, and Z. But I think like anybody with the chronic condition or skin condition like myself, like we want to try something new and we immediately just want it to like click. We want that to be like the secret answer that we've all been searching for and to like just see results right away. And I think it took me a while to like kind of get into the mindset that's like it's a process. That's not something that happens overnight and it doesn't happen in 2 or 3 weeks. So it takes a while. And like you said, I had my ups and my downs. And, I was like, oh my God, what if it's not working for me? Or like what if I'm like the unlucky one that just doesn't work for, can't get it fixed. And it was just like I definitely felt moments of frustration and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
Mhm.
And thanks for like just being honest about that because that's something I dealt with too. And I think, when you decide to want to heal naturally, that it's going to be a little bit of a journey. But that being
Mm.
said, it's literally been like 3, 4 months.
Yeah.
How long were you dealing with psoriasis versus the 4 months now you're almost in remission?
Yeah, definitely. So I first got psoriasis. I got diagnosed with it back when I was 23, 24. And when I first got diagnosed with it, the dermatologist gave me some steroid ointment to just apply to my skin, and that cleared it up. And I was happy. And honestly, I felt like I was in remission for maybe a couple of years, 2, 3 years. But this last year in 2019, it's just flared up. Like I was getting new patches all over my body. I would stress about it, and it was just like a Christmas tree that's just lit up, and I
Oh
was just
gosh.
so frustrated. Yeah,
Everybody
and
with
so I,
psoriasis right now is going, oh my gosh, I know exactly what he's talking about.
yeah, and it's like it happened. I can almost to the day remember as soon as because we had a nice summer, and then all of a sudden, as soon as it turned cold, and which is a trigger for people with psoriasis, it's just like all boom, new new patches, new yeah, and it was just so frustrating. And I dealt with that for like a year, like just a little bit, yeah, about a year.
Mm. So um, a full year, it took you about 4 months. Was there anything aside from you went the doctor route, which we all went, and I'm not against that at all. It's more just like
Mhm.
try anything you can.
Mhm.
But was there anything else you had tried in the natural space that or diet wise that didn't work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I I tried so many things, but I think I remember talking to you about this that I just never really stuck with anything because I didn't, I would go like 2 weeks and not see results. But I tried the vegan diet, I tried the pescatarian diet, I tried, so many other things, over the counter supplements, X, Y, and Z, just drinking all the fish oil that I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
And so it's just like so many things I would see. And then it was like it was crazy because then I would open up my phone and open up Instagram and I would see like an ad, try this, this will cure your psoriasis, this will help you X, Y, and Z, and they swear by it. And so luckily I never really got into any of those. I was like, no, this is just a marketing scheme because, I've been looking up psoriasis and whatnot. And if you're anything like me, one thing that helped motivate me is just kind of look at other people's stories and other people's remissions just because it does get very overwhelming. It does get super frustrating when you don't have that, the skin that you want.
Hmm. I think that's so important to share. That again, all of the feelings are natural to have, but
Hmm.
being able, I call that person somebody that you can look up to and like remind you that it's possible, an expander. It's like, that's the word I
Right.
use. Somebody who like expands your mind to remind you, oh yeah, like it is possible. And I'm going to do that too. So
Yeah.
you tried a bunch of things. You said in the beginning, one of the big shifts here is your mindset, but I'm sure people listening are gonna be like, okay, well, what did you do? Like, what did you do to clear your skin? And like, I share with my audience all the time, we take a gut focused approach
Hmm.
because psoriasis is an immune system issue, and our immune system lives in our gut, and not a lot of people know
Right.
that. So you and I, we really took a personalized approach to the whole situation.
Right.
Um, and there's definitely a strategy that we want to follow with these
Right.
different conditions versus, like you were saying, trying this random diet or trying these other things. There's a strategy or a system. Is there anything in particular over those 3 months that you feel um, really helped? Or maybe a better question is like, what about the program and about what we did together do you feel was like the most helpful outside of mindset? Because I know you said you wanted guidance and you wanted like a step by step. What do you
Hmm.
think was the most helpful for you in the 3 months that eventually basically got you to your mission almost?
Yeah. So I think the whole process in itself, it's hard for me to just say like one thing
Yeah.
helps and the other thing. It's like the whole thing in general has just really helped me out. Like your guidance is being able to support. I mean, those people that are on the gut rehab, they know that, we're part of a community and we share our success stories. And so that also helped. And just kind of remembering, realizing that, I'm not alone because it does feel it feels lonely, when you
Yeah.
have this type of skin condition or any skin condition itself or any chronic condition. It feels lonely. It feels like you're the only one dealing with it, that people don't really understand and won't really get what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the whole process, the constant communication, just being able to talk and just get some guidance, right? And then also, one thing I liked was not not being super limiting to myself. I mean, there was never one point where it's like, you have to cut this off. You have to, like, don't do this, don't do that. No,
Step
there
by.
was always like, yeah, it's okay, take this approach. I think that the whole program is ultimately designed to just be happy and, be happy and be aligned with your body and just know what works for your body. And if you decide to consume or drink something that's not aligned with your body, then you know how it's gonna react. And oh, so good. And then, but you also know how to take care of it.
Yeah, no, and thank you for saying that. I will highlight that for everybody to like take the veil away. Like, what are we really doing in gut rehab with psoriasis? Um, Rebalancing the body is like a combination lock.
Yeah.
And essentially, I think we all approach it like a recipe. Like, if I just find the right diet, if I do this one supplement, if I do this,
Mhm,
then in 2 weeks, I should have clear, like things should be moving.
mhm,
And the
mhm.
honest truth is, though it doesn't have to take you a year, it took us, what, 4 months? Rebalancing the body is like what you said, it's about actually finding um, essentially what's working for your body in a strategic way. So around
Mm,
diet, around supplements, around like caffeine and sleep, and really getting
mhm.
this in alignment. But what I love, or what I'm so big on, I'm glad you mentioned it. It's like, it's really hard to heal. Hear this, everybody, so loud. It's hard to heal if you're feeling like
Yeah,
micromanaged, you're feeling controlled, and if you feel like you're being restricted. Carlos, I mean, you're
yeah,
a chef. And I remember us having conversations about like, can I have this or can I do this, like in the beginning? And
mhm.
whether you're dealing with psoriasis or acne or gut stuff, know that like, if you want to rebalance, like just be real with yourself. It's like, take
Right.
guidance, but be real about it. Like, if you are stressed about cutting out carbs forever, not that we would ever do that, but like if that was the thing, it's probably not going to work for you. So seek whether it's me or somebody else, like seek
Mhm.
guidance that's empowering you to make your own decisions so you don't feel
Yeah.
restricted, and I'm just glad to hear that you feel happy during the program versus like, oh gosh, I have clear skin now, but now life sucks and it's boring because I can't eat anything. That's not true.
No, that is so far from the truth. I can't begin to tell you. I mean, you started working with me back in had our first conversation in December of last year, and I started the program early January, and I just, I remember, and I was just reflecting on this a couple of days ago, how every day and night I would wake up just stressed, hating my body, hating myself. I would dread going into the bathroom to take a shower because I have a huge mirror there, and I would just see all the
Yes.
plaques and all the red, itchy stuff. And it's just like frustrating and infuriating. It's like, why? Why me? And it's just like in the bathroom, it's just like mad at myself. And it's like, what am I doing? What did I do? And it's just, I think I really want to highlight on this topic. If, anybody gets anything away from this, it's like, it's not going to happen overnight. Like I wanted it to happen overnight.
We
I
had that
would like, yeah,
conversation so many
yeah,
times.
we had that conversation. Like after 2 weeks, I told you like, hey, there's no way. Like what's going on? It's like, and it's like it doesn't happen. And I think it's like watching paint dry. You watch it, it's gonna dry eventually, but it's gonna take longer. And I think the biggest part, which is kind of learning to let go, and then just kind of accepting myself and telling myself I'm doing everything I absolutely can. It's gonna get better, and it's just it doesn't hurt. Look up tips. What helps people. Some people might not help you. Some people I've heard are really good going into sauna rooms. Other people not so much. So it unfortunately is a trial and error type of thing, at least in my experience. And
Mhm.
just learning what works best for you. What diet works best for you, and what triggers and what doesn't trigger, and then just being patient more than anything else. We had multiple conversations about patience because I'm not a patient guy. When I want something, I want to go get it, and I get it, and like I don't think too much about it. But that kind of did force me to be a little bit more patient and be like, okay, okay, take a break, take a breather, and then the breathing techniques that you helped introduce me to really helped out too. So yeah, it's a lot of good points.
Thank you just so much. You hit so many, like you hit so many gold nuggets right now. And I think for guys who are struggling with psoriasis, I mean, women probably feel the same, but I think we're also different. And I know a lot of my male clients, like it's the same mindset of, okay, in other areas of your life, if you decide you're going to do something, you can go do that. The body's a little different and it requires patience. And again, like that slowing down. And I think it's just, I have to give you all the creds. I'm just a guide. You did all of it. And you had your moments, but then you're like, okay, I'm recommitting, I'm going to do this. And like, you got the results, everybody's probably like, oh, it's like the skin clear. And I remember getting your message the other day of like, Noelle, it's like 70 to 90% clear, and just like screaming because you put in the work, like you really put in the effort to align. But what's so nice to see is that you're in a happy place, or like you're in a
Yeah.
good place with yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I remember sending that message too, and it took me off guard because it really took me the fact of letting go and like just not stressing as much about it, because that's also a major thing, especially with people with psoriasis, is stress. Stress
Yes.
just triggers it so much, and it's like a vicious cycle. The more you stress about it, the worse it gets, and it's like, how do I dig myself out of that cycle? And then you stress about digging yourself out of that cycle. And anyways, people who have skin condition or any other type of conditions will understand. But I remember like I did tell myself one night, like, okay, just stop thinking about it, continue doing the process. And then one time I was jumping in the shower and I looked at myself in the mirror, and without me wanting to really, and I was like, oh wow, like where did that plaque go? Like, because I would have like red plaques in my chest and in my abdomen area. And it's like, oh wow, they're not there. And then that's when I realized, like, you know what? I haven't thought about it or stressed about it in probably a week now. That's like that is just a major accomplishment right there.
Huge,
Mhm.
huge. And um, for everybody else listening, I think the key, because I work with many different conditions and I've gone through it myself. Um, what allows you to kind of let go or relax is support and having a plan. And
Mhm,
if you can't get one-on-one support, like find a community that or
mhm,
something you can tap into there to get support and a plan. Like if you don't have a
mhm.
plan in place, like you and I, we had a plan in place. We're not going to change anything for like 3 weeks to let your skin do something. If you don't have a plan, you don't have support, you're just in a tornado of changing things
Yeah,
all the time. But your ability to let go, I remember it kind of evolved as, we relax into the plan. We trust the process, like
right,
you said. And the body always comes back. It always comes back. And I think the last point I want to make before I ask my last question is I remember one of our last calls, you had a major mindset shift around how you viewed the psoriasis. You were like, I think you started off by saying betraying you. And then we talked about partnering with your body. And then
mhm.
started to notice that like at that point, the letting go started to happen.
Yeah, 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 I agree. That's about exactly when it started happening, yeah.
Mhm. It's a really, if you take anything away from this, if you're frustrated with your skin, just inviting you to see if you can realize your body's not attacking you. It's just asking you to align with it. Um,
Right.
and I guess that's the last question is for anybody out there who is actively looking for like the right guidance, the step-by-step piece
Mhm.
to help clear their psoriasis. Like, were there any hesitations that you had before joining? Any hesitations you had and what helped you get over them? Or were you just ready to go?
No, I'm a very skeptical individual. Of course, yeah, there was definitely hesitations, right? And I mean, it's like, okay, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to commit to this? It's like, what if it fails? What if I'm wasting my time? What if I'm wasting my energy? And we're all human beings. We all have these, prior to this, the gut rehab, and I'm sure that, with you, I have a lifelong friend now. But prior to coming in, I didn't really know you. And so, don't know this individual, what's exactly gonna happen, right? It's like how
Right,
much can
right.
I really trust Instagram, right? But I don't know, it was just like there's something within my gut that was telling me that like, no, you need to heal this from within. You need to get ahead of this, get in control of it, and you need to take action. You need to start doing something. And
Mm,
so I think that was just kind of like, of course, there was hesitation, but just kind of taking that like, okay, that leap of faith, and then just go with it and trusting your gut. And then also, like I said, it's just the biggest thing is just be patient and know that it's a process and it's not gonna happen overnight.
Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
this. Like, if it just shifts one person into knowing that it's possible, um, it's just thank you. Thank you for your time. Is there anything else you want to say to like anybody suffering psoriasis right now who's like in the shoes that you were in December?
Oh my God. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, when I was struggling, like I was deep, deep in a hole. I was depressed, anxious. I was just in a very, very dark place. And I was just, telling myself, is this gonna be my life? Like I'm not gonna be able to date. I'm not gonna be able to go out. I'm not gonna be able to do this and this. Like people are just gonna judge me, look at me, and all those thoughts and all those fears just come into your head, just like overwhelming me. And it's like, I get it. Like I get how frustrating. I get how infuriating it is, and it sucks because as an individual, we did absolutely nothing wrong. You did absolutely nothing wrong. It's like it's not your fault. It's like, but unfortunately, it's something that we have to deal with. And then just kind of realizing that, like, okay, I have the power to change this. And yeah, it's just taking that leap of faith. It's just kind of being patient with yourself. Like for me, like I'm 90% in remission right now, but I'm still super much being careful and cautious and a lot more common sense way. I
Yeah.
mean, and I do want to get to 100% body remission, but
You're so close.
even
You're so
we're
close.
so close. Yeah. But even when I am, I'm still gonna take care of myself. I'm still gonna keep on doing the same practices that I'm doing, being mindful, meditating, and then just kind of knowing what works for my body and what triggers it. So
So valuable. Thank you so much, Carlos. And thanks for everybody who's watching. I hope this shifted somebody.
I really hope so too. It's you're not alone. And to whoever's watching, just feeling like completely defeated, because I know I did. Like you're not defeated. You're not alone, and you are loved. And at the end of the day, your skin doesn't define who you are. You're a wonderful human being, and don't let that influence on what you're capable of accomplishing in life. I almost did, and that sucked because like I'm in so much better place now. Like
Like, look at you
I'm
now.
so
It's
excited.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like the most emotional person ever. No, it's amazing. So thank you again, Carlos, and thank you for your trust. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit pause now.
All right.